In this video, we will get familiar with the parts of a simple Java program. The goal is to get some sense of the general structure of a Java code. You don't have to understand everything in this code for now, so don't worry if any part of the code doesn't make sense. This is a simple Java code called simple. This is how it will look like if you type it in BlueJ, the integrated development environment used in this course. If you compile and run this code, which you will learn very soon, you will get the following output. Now let's explore the different parts of the simple program. The first line of this code is a comment. A simple comment line in Java starts with a double forward slash. A forward slash can be found next to the right shift key. The compiler ignores everything that comes after the double forward slash until the end of the line. Comments are not required for the program to run, but they are vital for understanding and maintaining the code. Notice that the default theme of BlueJ would give the gray color for the comment. It could be a different color if you're using a different IDE. The next line in the code is the blank line. Although it has no significance to the compiler and the compiler completely ignores it, it's important for us humans to make the code more readable. Similar to the white space that you use in your presentations, you need to use white space in your code. The next line is the class header. It marks the beginning of the class definition. Remember, we said everything in OOP programming is an object that is instantiated from a class. Notice that simple here is not a template of an object, like the employee or the lamp examples we discussed before. However, to maintain consistency, everything in the code must be coming from a class. And that's why even a simple program that prints a statement to the screen, like this one, must be housed in a class. In this case, it's called simple. A Java program must have at least one class definition. The line reads as a publicly accessible class called simple is being defined. Next, we have a line with an opening curly bracket. The curly bracket can be found in the first line of characters in your keyboard, above the Enter key. Opening curly brackets mark the beginning of a major component in a Java code, in this case, the beginning of a class. A matching closing curly bracket must appear in the code to define the scope of this class. Anything between the class opening and closing curly brackets is the body of the class. Remember, a class is an encapsulation of attributes and methods. Both attributes and methods should appear if we are dealing with a class that defines a template of an object, like the employee and the lamp classes that we defined before. However, in this case, as we mentioned earlier, simple is not an object, and thus we don't have attributes for it. We only have a method being defined. Line 5 is the method header. It marks the beginning of a method called main. We know that the method name is main because in Java, the method's name is followed by a pair of parentheses. The rest of the words on this line are needed to make the main method work. Don't worry about the meaning of these words for now. As we progress through the course, we will start to unfold the meaning of each word. In fact, what is inside the parentheses of the main method will be explained in the last chapter of this course. Until then, I will ask you to trust me and just memorize this line and type it as is. Any Java application must have the method main as defined above. When Java compiles and runs the code, it looks for the main method to mark the beginning of the whole application. Since main is a method, it has its pair of curly brackets or braces. It's important to close the curly brackets to avoid syntax and compile time errors. Everything between the method curly brackets is the body of the main method. Notice here that the main method itself is part of the body of the class. One way to make sure not to forget the closing curly brackets is to type both of them right away and then separate them to fill in the body. The method body is where you write the statements to make the application act. In this case, the application has a single Java print statement. Print statements will be explained in details in a separate video. The print statement will print something to the screen. What is being printed is the text inside the double quotation marks and highlighted by the blue J in green, which reads programming is great fun! Exclamation point. This part is called a string literal. A string is a sequence of characters. At the end of the line, we will notice that we use a semicolon to tell Java that this is the end of this line. Most of the Java statements will end in a semicolon, but not every line. For example, notice the class and method header lines. It's essential to know that Java is a case-sensitive programming language. This means that simple with a lowercase s is not the same as a simple with uppercase s. For Java, they are two completely different things. All Java programs must be stored in a file with a .java extension. A .java file can contain multiple classes. However, only one of these classes can be public. For that public class, it must have a name that matches the name of the file.